Okay, so what is this? I'll just talk about the radio show thing on there. What this is meant to be is just the New York New Year's theme song over the 2 minutes that's going on right now. So you can take this footage and put this over the ball drop 2 minute footage thingy. I'm gonna talk about the ball drop. They do the ball drop out there in the field. My mother in the background commented on all the shows sucking. That's about it. And yeah, all the cheesy New Year's like revelry that show. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today, but I want to be a part of it in old New York. No, I've never been there. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps. My nephew's been there. My niece has been there. I want to be the king of the hill, a number one, top of the heap. Bum, ba, bum. Garbage heap. It's those little town blues. I'm going away. But right here it's only 10:09. But oh well, New York. I want to find it there. You'll find it, and you won't find it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. So the New York ball drop thingy. I don't think I will be setting off any bots singing New York, New York a cappella. It would be funny though. It'd be like, what? Come on. It wasn't that close. Then again, I did the Peanuts song and set it off too once. I was like, what in the world? Anyway, so yeah. There. New York, New Year's thingy. Sure. Ball drop. The balls drop. Well, I'm gonna have to punch it in the beep. It's a funky set. This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and welcome to New Year's Eve 2018, 2017, early 2018. I'm trying to figure out this before, so. Season 1 was 2009. Season 2 is 2010. Season 3 is 2011. Season 4 is 2012. Season 5 is 2013. Season 6 is 2014. Season 7, 2015. Season 8, technically, well, Season 7 was the end, but Season 8, 2016. Season 9, 2017. So this is going to be the finale of season 9. Because really 2009 and 2010 were short. Actually up until 2012 they were short. We don't really have a show for you tonight. So yeah. In fact, the New Year's ball drop thing is actually first on the tape. We don't have a show. So, yeah, this is the second studio thingy. I'm going to set the camera somewhere else while it's... yeah. That is not a good place to put the camera. It isn't, because you can't actually see what's going on. So, yeah, let's see. Anything in here? Lift the camera up so it won't go rolling onto the floor and destroy it. I'll put on this thing. The ghetto thing. There, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. It's a strange close up here. So, yeah, lots of bright lights. Yeah, this is Kal Kat the Kal Katster, and you can leave all that in there. Well, you have to cut it out, but yeah. So sure. We don't have a show. Then we did some recaps on the other channels. This is going to go on the Kal Kat show. It's kind of like 2009, where we didn't really have a show. We come back from Disneyland in 2009 and did some sketches and some songs, and they were really lame, so we ended up not using any of them. The accents and things. So so Clint Cowpoke just recently did the Go the Fuck to Sleep video thing, from based on that Merton book. Yeah, so Starship Locations have been doing that. We've been doing that, and that's the book series version of the game. Sort of a multiverse type of thing, and trying not to make it as convoluted as it seems to become when I add the other stories to it. Decided on just today that there's a certain number of characters. There's a character named Shar, or a character named Evan, and some other ones that we made up that we're trying to kind of figure out their origin. And I finally sussed out what's going on, where that starts, because although we'd written the middle book of the last few books, we hadn't figured out where they started from. They don't really have to have an origin, but they kind of do in this version. So they kind of do, and I decided that So in this other version of the events in the story, the character called Cal has a nephew who's roughly his age. She's like a Mary Sue kind of thing. And in this other version, instead of Holy Cat, who's another character, it's Cal's nephew, Kelly, instead. So Kelly Bullock is literally in the story. Kelly Bullock is an anagramist character that my actual nephew David and I created many years ago for use in science fiction and fantasy stories. And he is a Kal Kat show character, so why not include him in this? But it's not a Mary Sue because he doesn't save the ship. Cal Bullock saves the ship. Kelly does not. He's just comic relief and stuff like that. He falls for the Shar role, and this is where the other story originates from. Is that in this other universe, the mirror universe, he is actually more prevalent to Jung Swan than Cal, and or Marshall Sporty, to change the name, and he befriends the anagram of Angie, who was training there because sure, why not? And the anagram is called Shar, and there's another Angie that's a character, but she's and that's where she came from. She's from the Marshall Sportiest ship that went to the planet, the Miriam planet. And that kind of had to be explained a little bit, just because she wouldn't have known how they got there. Just, a little bit of an explanation for us how they got there. This is their journey from Cillian Earth to the planet in the story. Since there were already some episodes about the journey, I just sort of rewrote them to fit in the timeline, taking out all the fluff and saying that, no, this is just their journey to the planet straight off. They're there. It's sort of the alternate mirror version of that. And so there's also the mirror board story, which was one of the Cillian stories, but done from the mirror's perspective. So you're basically in the mirror silly, but more, but darker. So anyway, and you don't need to know all that stuff to play the future game or role play or LARP. The idea was that I don't know what I'm going on about it for, but the idea is that anyone can create a new version of the Cillian universe and play in it. That makes it even more vast than Star Trek Online, in that you can actually do the missions. You probably should follow some of the missions just so it makes sense and doesn't just go off on a tangent, because we did. Mark Scars and I did. So there has to be some sort of at least role play like scenario set up. Like they go to this particular planet that has these particular sets of rules. Say they go to the Miriam planet where they have the loneliest planet, where they have a certain kind of powers they can use on that planet and can't use them on the other planet. So it's sort of like, yeah, role play slash card game slash, you know, build your adventure slash, you know, this is what it is. We did this kind of stuff back in the day when it was me and oldest nephew David with some of our early short stories, which we developed into, which Mark's Cards and I later developed into, mainly me, developed into later stories and things, Distant Destinies, Starcrackers, and other there's a stoner comedy, Years After Leaving, there's Waymarker Saga, which took a bunch of old Starcrackers stuck together. There's another one in between there that's time travel short story thing. I think that's the same one, the Waymarker. Yeah, so that's in there too. But yeah, and we sort of struck all this together, which is why I took some of the short stories down from Corcus Kitty website and Google site and stuff, because we were going to use them. So I rewrote them over this past year, and we're going to use them. So I'm mentioning stuff that I did this past year. So this is all relevant. This is what was done in 2017. Meanwhile, Mark's Cards was hard at work elsewhere and not able to do any Chimera filming since the month of March of last year. So, I could have finished the voice acting, but we did not want to just have me jump ahead and do the rest of the footage. He wanted to direct and produce the rest of the footage. So, the Chimera movie awaits. And we have not started production on the Transformer thing, although I'm now in the set of the thing. And this is the old Transtech set, actually. It's the same room. It's been slightly modified over the years, but it's the room, and we're going to do some stuff in here, do some Transformer stuff coming up. I went to Savers and found some knockoff G.I. Joes that will be in the scene in which some of them are dead when we open the bioship being destroyed and stuff. The sort of preamble trailer thing. I don't want to tread over stuff that I've already done, though, so we're probably not going to directly show what happened to the bioship in 2015 in the story, just because that's kind of going over the same information, rather than just, like, have a sort of allusion to it, like maybe chaos on the bridge or something, and some stuff's going on that didn't work right, and then we flash it 2 years later. What happened? Here's what happened. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, because we don't need to go back there. It's the same thing with these live action role play stories, which are in this case storybook stories, not LARPs. These are storybook stories. In this case, you don't need to know these stories to play Starship Locations. They just happen to be there. They're story adaptations of some of the missions that have gone on over the years. Actually, most of them, come to think of it, I've rewritten most of them to fit. But you don't need to know anything about them. I mean, you can read them if you want to. They're legit. They took out all these Star Trek elements and made them just spoofy Star Trek parodies. Sure. Anyway, so this is the New Year's special, and see how that works later on. We don't have a cast. We were going to have at least 5 people that were interested earlier on in the year, but they went on to do their own things. They couldn't wait any longer, and they went on to do their own things, and even their own things fell apart. So they ended up not doing anything else. 1 or 2 of them are still dangling out there doing other things. I've been to one of the games that one of them played, which was a Star Trek game. They played it one day and didn't go back to it. So, yeah, in a coffee shop. So, also the main one of the former Chimera guys, Scott, he's one of the Star Trek Online guys, and he was like over there. He's well, you know, I'm on Star Trek Online. I want to come over there and, you know, Star Trek On Location could be part of that. I haven't done that yet. It could be on there, but Star Trek Online's version of it would be the future. unless it was in timelines or something. It would be the future. So if you were following the Next Generation timeline, which I do since it was the 18 years that Star Trek was in my generation, um, it would currently be the 30th year of Next Generation. The 20-something year of Deep Space Nine, the 20-something year of Voyager. It would be, just at the end of, the halfway through the season, 30th season. It'd be 2394, and it would be June on the Enterprise E or Enterprise F, possibly in this case. And so yeah. Well, there was at least one fan that was wondering, when are you going to be on Trek Yards? You're talking about. We don't know. We don't know. Although they have done 2 ships we suggested on there, which is awesome. Just recently, they did 2 ships. They did they did the Millennium Falcon a bunch of times, but then they just did the Yamato, known as the Argo over here, the space battleship Yamato, also known as the Star Blazer ship. They did a cursory review of that ship. They did not mention the wave motion gun too much, though. They should have, because that was their cannon. The ship has a cannon that fires through anything, apparently. Sort of like the SDF-1 main guns, they fire through anything. I did an SDF-1 review before they did. The Trek Yard says you have to put up their SDF-1 review unless they're doing it tonight. I don't know. The SDF-1 is really big. It's miles long, so it's a big ship. I tend to put big ships in my stories too, and there's exciting Starship Locations stuff out there about that as well. Under my actual name, Adam Brown, author of one book thus far that got published, and now I'm going to publish a bunch more in 2018, we hope. And so I decided to make an existential extra blog on the Kal Kat, on the On Location Cats channel, which will explore science fiction tropes and ideas. I had done a thing on that earlier, basically just reading off wiki pages and star pages and stuff like that, which was kind of dull and pedantic a couple of years ago, and I thought, no, I should just have fun with it and just talk about stuff like that. I could go on for a long time about stuff like that. And that's one of the things that's neat about this Starship Locations game idea / Matrix idea thing. A lot of 2017 was exploring the notion of those brain, the Meskrashka brain, or the idea of being in a simulation. The world is a simulation. You're in a holodeck. It's a simulation from a Cat 3 civilization that is built a simulation, and you're in it. And in a sense, Starship Locations, which was Silly Trek, which was Chimera, was similar to that idea. That they were basically just saying that whole realm was like a Matryoshka brain. The whole realm, the ones that Cal and John Makos and all them would go into, the whole universe was created by a Q-like entity called the Qute, Q-U-T-E, and he granted these children powers, gave them Q powers, which I stole from an episode of Star Trek, several episodes, but mainly in The Children Shall Lead and Miri. They do go to the Miri planet, but we've renamed it the Miriam planet, after my grandmother, is her middle name, Miriam. But yes, but yes, so there's some interesting nods and things in there. It makes sense. It's not that. It's more of the Orville than it is Discovery. It's more of a fun, tongue-in-cheek, like, Star Trek trope kind of story. And yeah, they're in this realm that's sort of like a virtual realm where they can do whatever they want. Basically like World of Warcraft, I guess, but in space. Like Star Trek Online, but in space. So yeah, it would make sense that Chimera, or Trek Core's Chimera, 82405, would go to Star Trek Online and play on that and just be there. But it wouldn't be the same thing. That would be Star Trek Online and Star Trek Online. So that could happen. We'll see. I also like the idea of it being a realm sort of universe where anybody can play in it, which is the final caveat, which means do they have, do they have, other people besides just the Mary Sues and the MacGuffins and the main cast? Are there minor cast in there? Other people that have were given the same powers? Yes. That's some of the other spin-offs. There's a Bushido kind of spin-off where someone else has been given powers to do that kind of thing, and his crew is off doing completely other things, going after a martial art cult. And then there's another group that's doing another thing where they're going after this Miriam planet and going there and visiting it and hanging out and having an angsty sort of nod to the 90s kind of adventure going on in the late 90s, early 2000s in the story. On the planet, it's late 90s, early 2000s. And then there's 10 years later, and it's not that convoluted. It really isn't. It'll make sense in the story. There's just one book that's in the late 90s, early 2000s, and there's another book 10 years later that's later on in the mid-2000s. Does not explore 9/11. It skips it. It ends before. Anyway, yeah, so... And then it jumps ahead. So, yeah, these are periods in space-time and stuff. And the other one with the Bullshito has been considerably changed from the original context and is not in any way related to the other version. It's been completely rewritten. Every word of it has literally been painstakingly rewritten so that it is not just riffing whole dialogue from other source materials and stuff. Yeah, there is indeed at least one other novel out there about that. We didn't want to plagiarize them, so we didn't. Not at all. So it's a spoof of it. It ends with a spoof trial, which never really happened, and stuff like that. But yes, because I like spoof trials. Pedantic thing. So yeah, a space thing could be exciting, exploring that. The realms and worlds and stuff. I haven't drawn up or designed the game world, so to speak, so I don't know what it looks like. It would help to do that before you design a game. But for now it's just stories, the storyboarded stories, scripts. Anyway, none of it is for sale yet. Although when it's Starship Locations, it will be considerably parody-like, so yeah, I could technically sell it, because it's not Star Trek. It's spoofy, it's like Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek anymore either, so... sure, Trek fans will like it. It goes past expectations. Yeah. Another subject here, let's see. It's going on a while. This is kind of just hanging out in a room here. Let's move this a tad, change the menu just a bit. So, movies this year. Like last year and the year before, we have had Oscar time comes in February nowadays, because they keep not having enough movies released in November and December to fill their bill. A couple of years ago they had quite a few, but last year they had a few. But really they had to pick either the crowd-pleasing ones or the artsy ones, and this year it's even worse. This year they have no blockbuster movies. They can say, see, crowd-pleasing movie we like, we'll throw that in there. We don't have a Hidden Figures this year. We don't have a La La Land this year. Got nothing. We have action movies, and we know the Oscar is not going to give it to Thor Ragnarok. They're not going to give an Oscar to that movie. They're not going to give an Oscar to Wonder Woman. I would be really surprised if that movie got an Oscar. It deserves to be Best Picture, but it's probably not going to get it unless the Oscar people decide, all right, we'll give it to one. But if they just say, all right, we'll give it to you, that's kind of like, well, we're just going to do it just because. Yeah. There wasn't a lot. Yeah, there was 8 days to thrill me there, toward the end of Christmas, and they didn't do it. Um, and now they're all like, "Oh, we'll see the Darkest Hours," which has the same title as a movie from 8 years ago, which was an action picture. This is not the same movie. Uh, yeah, that movie has just come out somewhere. Go and see it. Oh, look at the Oscar. It came out in November somewhere on Earth. And now it's like in some theaters somewhere, but not the main local one. So they've apparently, yeah, San Jose is playing, but not Milpitas. Um, but yeah, it's like the Oscar buzz is it's not making money. So if they give it to that one, it's gonna be like, why? Just because the guy's playing Winston Churchill, you remember that? But yeah, as for TV this evening, it also sucked. Mother was commenting on the TV, terrible. The show was being uninteresting, like going on about the '90s for some reason, like that was like this movement or something. The '90s were a counterculture non-movement, I would say. They were more like they were their own thing. They were sort of a thing. It was the born again Kal Kat era. It was the '90s. It was the era where it was fancy free in some ways, but also lots of grunge, as it was called, as well. I figured since everybody else was grungy back then and more cynical than they are now, actually they were more cynical then than now. I think that I would be more happy-go-lucky and do church things and go on adventures and stuff and have parties and just like heck heck with it. It's the '90s. It's almost going to be the new millennium, that kind of thing. It's going to be this is the '60s for 20-something to early 30-something late to mid 20-something Kal Kat. I had was in magazines and editorials and things and did stuff like that. Creative writing courses and learned how to write better. And they had a contest back when they actually allowed people to submit stories to Star Trek. My favorite thing, and of course I did, and of course I was rejected. But ultimately, they looked at the Deep Space Nine one once. They printed a stamp. They stamped it once, and they looked at the Voyager one twice. Once that very year they looked at it, in 95, and they stamped it again in 98. They're going to look at it again, and when they wanted to contact my agent and ask, they never did because I didn't have an agent. But yeah, they encouraged in that rejection letter, which was more of a letter on advice, saying keep writing. You have really good grasp of your characters. You understand the show, and we hope you continue to do other stories, things in the future, and whatever. Look us up later. Then came Enterprise, but we couldn't save it. So sorry, it was going to go out, so it was going to go out. It didn't work for Enterprise, but we donated to Save Enterprise, 2005. When we were on the heyday of doing our fan film series Trans Tech, we went over to the Save Enterprise people. Fan film, of course, had to be free. So it went up on YouTube when YouTube got big eventually. So did Starcrackers, the movie that we did in the '90s. That's something else we did in the '90s, early '90s. And we joked about doing another one and threw up a reunion thing a couple months ago. Probably not doing another movie of Starcrackers, just because, what would we do? Be kind of weird. Admiral Me shows up or something. Why would I do that? but yeah, it's just. So that's kind of it, I guess. With that train of thought. So yeah, no, not a lot of. I can't think of any other Oscar-worthy movies. I think of why the '90s was a big deal, other than O.J. Simpson trial, that was messed up, and Nancy Kerrigan thing, that was messed up, and Bill Clinton, that was messed up, and yeah, things were messed up. Kurt Cobain, that was really messed up. We looked that up. That was Nirvana. There was a group, a rock group that apparently Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain, and probably heard of Courtney Love. She's still around. And Kurt Cobain killed himself. It's messed up. And then she went on and did something else. But yeah, so the 90s were very angst-ridden and grungy. It's not groovy, man. I didn't know him or anything, just saying. Yeah, there were a lot of cheesy movies too back then. Bad ones. A lot of sequels to horror movies. I didn't need to have sequels. And regular other movies. Yeah. And everybody thought that that 1999 was going to be the end of the world because it was Y2K was going to come out. Then everybody thought that 2012 was going to be the end of the world. And, nope. It's 2018 now. Yeah. Well, at least according to New York, I think it's technically where we are. It's still 2017, but certainly not. But yeah. So this, this isn't really a sketch. This is just a recap. Here, I didn't really have anything for sketches. I suppose I could do some accents or something and then close it off. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, socks and some, yeah. Okay, it was. I could do a werewolf fuzzy face who was like, oh yeah, and I took the Tom Brookston and I put him in a bed with a Muppet to freak him out, But it didn't freak him out. He got excited and he had sex with a Muppet, or like, Mr. Jar Jar Binks, or we're very unusual. We're just kind of doing gravelly voice. Yes. Or goofy hills. Or will you have like, what would happen if like, Christopher Walken, he was, reading from the Star Trek script, and he was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read from the script here. It says, con. Yeah, but hey Fred, hey Bonnie, my pebbles. It's kind of the same voice. Also, that's Ernie and Bert, and that's goes back to the Honeymooners, which is way, way long time ago. But yeah, Mickey Mouse, haha. Yeah. Yeah. So back in the day, these started out. It's interesting that these are on video now. Like in the '90s, we started this. I kind of did the '90s sketches that night in October, in Halloween 2009, the way you do a radio show. So I didn't really do anything with accents or faces or voices or anything. I just stared at the camera and just went on about stuff. And it was like, it's not very interesting. Got it, Jim? I'm a doctor, not an actor. Actually, there was a reference to that in that Bull movie with the bull and Ferdinand. He goes, I'm a bull, not a doctor. But it's like, yeah, it's clearly not talking about George Tenet. I don't know why the guy on IMDb thought he was. That was a reference to Star Trek. Because why wouldn't it be? He did it like twice. There was another one in there too. Of course he would reference Dr. McCoy, because Dr. McCoy was in Westerns before he was in Star Trek, and Star Trek is a space Western, so of course it's a reference to McCoy. Why wouldn't it be? There's also a black Angus cow in it, who was like an Angus, but strangely enough, not black. He was an Angus An Angus, a Scottish cow somehow. And there was a Texas Longhorn cow. How does that work? It was like, where the heck were they anyway? Yeah. Ferdinand. And it was a Disney short originally. And apparently Blue Sky bought it. And then there's Blue Sky is Fox. So yeah, are they going to merge now that they're... But yeah, back from where they were, because they broke off. Cow movie. Yeah, they broke off with early Ice Age movies came later, but they sort of broke off with that awful Roseanne Barr cow movie back in the day. Yeah. She was in a movie with playing a cow. Go look it up. But Roseanne Barr Arnold, she was an actress, a comedian. Yeah. Ew, and Dave Chappelle apparently had already said that Donald Trump would be the first internet troll to be president. Long before I didn't see his sketch, but he said that during his SNL sketch that night that he was elected. I was not watching SNL that night, so I didn't know he actually said that. I also said that. It's a coincidence. Great minds think alike. So, yeah. Yeah, our president is an internet troll. Great. I'm not as cynical as that about that as Mark's cars. It's when they take away all the social security perks and stuff like that. Then they'll piss everyone else off. Of course, if they do that, if they take away all the perks and everything else with all of the tax cuts, they will inevitably not get reelected in 2018. So, or 2020. So yeah, if they do anything that too crazy, they will not get reelected. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's not a political debate. Not really. As I was pointing out to somebody in the church who was a writer, who was a secretary at one point, I said, the secretary is the keeper of the secrets. So Hillary having a secret server, like they went a big deal about Hillary Clinton's secret server. Karl Rove had one too, but they didn't care. They were bragging about that one. Like, it was okay that he did. But it wasn't okay that her did, but it's the keeper of the secrets. A secretary. That's what the word originally meant, semantically. Keeper of the secrets means you get to keep secrets. Yeah. Funny that. Anyway, so I don't have any secrets. You have any secrets you wish to keep? The wish to keep in the Starship Locations. What are these adventures trying to say? Maybe they were seeing something about blah 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 about vampires blah blah. Apparently the Emoji Movie was terrible. Yeah, I didn't really see the shitty movies this year. That one was apparently really bad. And I've seen some best and worst movie review things on the internet, and I can safely say that that I really didn't go to see them, so I can't rate them. But they included Transformers: The Last Night in a lot of the worst movie categories, but I wouldn't say it was disappointing and nuts, but it wasn't the worst movie of the year. I'm sure there were plenty of 10 other movies that were way worse than that movie. What did I give that? Like 2 stars or something, or 1.5 or something, which is generous because I like Transformers. Even though it really probably didn't deserve it. But at least it was what it was. Emoji movies were really a bad idea. I think any movie where they completely misjudge the demographic and decide, oh, we'll just make it hip by adding new stuff to it on top of it, and no one will notice that we're ripping off Wreck-It Ralph. Or or something else. It's, yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't just a rip off of Wreck-It Ralph. It was like boring. It's like, um, now at the kids club thing from the church, there's a bunch of little kids. It's a demographic, right? And they're like, oh, well, they'd seen the Emoji Movie. Some of them commented on it and said stuff like, that was boring, or it didn't make sense, or it's coming from kids, you know. That like is boring. It's stupid. No, but the ending didn't make any sense. I fell asleep. But yeah, apparently some of them really liked that Mother movie, but that looks boring and pretentious too, so in a different way. I can't say that that's going to be good. I couldn't conceive of that being good. Just, it's there. Apparently there were some good horror movies. Apparently It Chapter 1 was good. I did see It Chapter 1. It's unfinished though, because it's Chapter 1. So you can't really say like this is Best Picture because it's not finished. So Split horror movie, as well as yeah, some others. But not It. It and Split. It is in Split. Yeah. Okay. Both of those. The action picture, Wonder Woman. Best Picture, Wonder Woman. Special nod to Blade Runner 2049, made for visuals as well. Star Wars also wins for visual effects. Star Wars Episode 8, the Force Awakens, and even after contentious debates online, other Trek fans and Star Wars fans, some of which confused Chimera 847, the Chimera character, for a millennial who just didn't know what Star Wars was pretty funny. No. I was 7 years old when the Star Wars first one came out, so I'm not a millennial, not at all. Yeah, but it is true that casual fans of Star Wars don't seem to mind that it subverted things and didn't do the same thing. Casual fans seem to be okay with that, so maybe that's what they're getting at. Casual fans and millennials that were just, well, at least they did something different. But I went more than that, though. I said, no, it's actually a really good movie, even though the critics were actually agreeing, so they didn't like that the critics agreed, and they liked it. I was totally agreeing with the critics. So I was always a sellout to Lucasfilm and Disney, which is not possible. If I was a sellout to Disney, I would have more hit reviews. But yes, so yeah, sure. 40 minutes rambling on. In 2018 now, yeah, it's. Yeah, so I still like it. So it's an awesome movie. I'll own it on video. Mark Skarts liked it even more. He said it's the best movie of the year. He really liked it. Of course, he didn't see a lot of movies, but he said, oh, this is the best movie of the year. Thor Ragnarok was also a lot of fun. The Kal Kat references in that were fun. Well, of course, the references, the Highlander references was also amusing. Yeah, we also learned that this year that a bunch of actors got in trouble for sexual harassment and assault and stuff, and a bunch of news people too. We don't need to go into all the names of these people, but they did. And there seems to be a precedence among the superpower elite people getting in trouble that apparently they're under the impression that they can just like bandy and bully people into working for them. Apparently back in the day they can say stuff like oh, you have to work for me and then you'll get, or you have to have sex, or they'll say stuff like yeah, and if you tell anybody then you'll be fired and quit, and your career will be ruined. To which I would say to that bullshit, if I heard somebody doing that to me, well, they wouldn't do that to me, but if I was in their shoes, I'd be like, okay, I don't need to work for you. Goodbye. I'll go work for somebody else. Fuck you, dude. It's like, have some dignity. Don't work for those people that threaten you. I'm stupid. Do that. Don't be dumb. Like, you can find a job somewhere else. You can sue them later for millions of dollars. Anyway, yeah. But yeah. Internet troll president guy says stuff on and off mic. Oh, there's another thing I said to that. The famous reporter lady, the ex-reporter lady that I saw at the church. Can't say their name though, so it's going to make sense. I was talking about also the Russian collusion, and I said, well, of course he colluded with the Russians. He married a Russian lady, and then he married another Russian lady. Of course he's colluding with them. It's okay when he does it. Actually, I'm a centrist. Stupid pew poll thing. Centrist. I don't care which side wins. So it's kind of like the 90s. And we're messed up. And we made it to the end of the year. Oh, the Kal Kat show could get revitalized for next season in some way or another. I don't think we'll be pushing out another 40 videos like we did on the other channel this year, but maybe reach 400. Maybe reach 300 by the end of next year, maybe on the new channel, the older Orcus Kitty on Location Cat channel. So, and hopefully in 2018, hopefully before next December, hopefully sometime in the summer. Hopefully before Fanime, that would be awesome. That way we could promote it at Fanime. The Star Trek parody, Starship Chimera, the Destiny device, will be coming out. Finally be out. You'll be able to see it. It will be airing on all of the Kal Kat channels, so they can all of them will watch it. So they'll all have it. Not just the Chimera channel, all of them. And interviews of the vast and enormous cast that were in the movie. Yeah, sure. Just the two of us. Anyway, so there were more, but they just didn't stick around this long. We started production in 2006. It's like the boyhood of Star Trek movies. Well, Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Happy Christmas. The war on Christmas has been won. Duh. There was no war on Christmas. Stupid. And at least now that the House of Mouse owns Fox, maybe they'll have those propaganda guys stop talking about that stuff and start talking about Mickey Mouse. Because it'll all be about the Mickey, the glorious Führer Mickey Mouse. His empire will rise again. And it isn't that Mark Hamill that we told him to say good stuff about the movie. It's that he sort of changed his mind because, so we slipped him a Mickey. And then Bill Cosby showed up and they said, well, if you're going to slip him the Mickey, you can't put it in the drink so they go to sleep. And then when they're asleep, they take advantage of him against his will. Well, then I can get away with it because I'm a celebrity. It's a Bill Cosby imitation. I wouldn't do that. Just, Damn, wasn't that tea? Anyway, it's New Year. It's 2018. 2018. It's an even number. 2018. Somewhere around there, the trans deck thing. And Carda. A Star Wars story. Actually, it's probably going to be called Carda, a trans text story, just to be spoofy. That's probably what the Carda one's going to be called. Carda, a trans text story. And then Han Solo is coming out, which they redid with. We also have to look forward to Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom, Black Panther. Later on in the summer, we have Black Panther. We have Age of Ultron, Infinity War. They've managed to stick the two into the one movie. What else we got? DC. We got Aquaman coming out later. They finished it, but we'll see. Look for Kal Kat. We got a guy. One Roadkill cameo in that one. Yeah, so that's what he's been up to. But we'll see what he did in Aquaman. But yeah. So, anyways, I got nothing else. Oh yeah, there's a cool animated ninja Batman set in feudal Japan, which could be very cool. That's coming out around the summer. That should be awesome too, because it's weird. Looks like sort of like Spirited Away meets sort of Batman meets sort of like ultra high tech Matrix like steampunk thing in Japan. Looks bizarre. Better than the Ninja Turtles when they went to Japan in Ninja Turtles 3. Hopefully, because Ninja Turtles 3 wasn't very good. I was looking back on that old toy show thing though, where met Ernie Ray Jr. again. And then saw him again at that convention, dressed as Kitty Key, the martial sportist. And yeah, Schwarzfeld. He was like, oh, that's how I forgot it. No, it's but yeah. That was at Comic-Con. That was at Comic-Con that he was at. And the other one, this was the toy show that he was at. There's another one in March. He'll be at that one too. I don't know if he'll be at that one, but Kal Kat will be at the one in March. We didn't go to the one in December. The toy show thing, yeah. And then the guy, apparently he knew me and the dude behind me. Said hi to both of us. Knew me more from way back in the day, and how long ago we'd met, and what movie it was on. Yeah, the other guy apparently loved Surf Ninjas, and he was a real fan of Surf Ninjas. Well, yeah, yeah, that was Ninja Turtles 1 and 2, and Surf and the original and fan, and there was a background cameo behind the scenes in another ninja movie that he was in called Three Ninjas. First Three Ninjas movie, where they used some of the extras from the martial arts school I used to train at, and they used some of the sets and backgrounds from that retreat place in that movie. So yeah, I got to see a Hollywood movie being made. That's cool. But I don't think I ended up in the movie. But he did remember me. I don't think I'm actually in there anyway. But yeah, because that would have been cool. I could put it on IMDb page and say, I was in Three Ninjas. I was in extra number 3. You know? But no. They didn't include me. I was also an extra in Nessun Dorma, an art house movie. I looked that up. Yeah. And so was my sister. We're both we were bohemians in a coffee shop or something. I don't know what we were. What we were supposed to be. And it was weird because it was a coffee shop / Chinese restaurant. It was just an odd. Well, I guess San Francisco. Why not? In the 2000s or so. Interesting. But yeah, and Star Trek stuff. But more famous online than it ever was out there. So. But yeah, feel that shit. Oh, it must be New Year's Eve right now here because the fireworks are going off outside. So it's now New Year's Eve in San Francisco area. Yeah. Or they just started lighting them off early. Anyway, so that's Happy New Year 2018. I'll just stand back here. Shit. Yay, the cat shirt. I figured I'll do this because this is the New Year's preamble thing that I was wearing. I tore the little bells off. Bells shirt. I wore this to church. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, we used to do New Year's radio comedy sketches in this room. And, yeah, child star. Started at about 15 doing that. 14 and a half, 15 doing that. Yeah, so, local though. Never got out, really. I have transferred most of those to files. But I used a lot of songs in them, so I can't really post any of them. Because I was like, I'll just put music in this, whatever. Yeah. Officially, it is New Year's on the West Coast. Just thought I'd shoot that out here. It's officially New Year's Day, and the effects are going off and stuff. So it's officially New Year's Day here on the West Coast. So, yeah, I was already writing the New Year's episode, which is an hour already, so I didn't want to include this on there. This is just a shout out New Year's Day. This will go on the next episode of this particular thing. Yes. So, it's now New Year's Day. Happy New Year, 2018. You get to go. Come on, go out, 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 out. Buffy Nimmers. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.